Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for such wonderful words for our brand. It's an honor to be part of such an event. Okay, so it's a privilege for me to be speaking on something that is so close to my heart. That is slow fashion, conscious fashion, or organic fashion. So basically, let's start by I want this interaction to be a two-way process. So if you have any questions, you can just ask me, right? And I'm as comfortable in Hindi as I'm in English. So you can ask me questions in your preferred language. So before starting, I just want to make clear wherever you feel like interrupting me, you can do that. So let's start with the topic. Okay, organic fashion. So, what does organic fashion mean? Let's start by breaking the term. What does organic mean? Organic is something that is raw, unprocessed, unfiltered, that is provided by nature. It has been in its natural state without any human intervention. And when we say fashion, fashion, I don't think is some trend you need to be a part of. It's actually your source of inspiration. It's a part of your personality. Why fashion is so important for we aspiring designers or we students, because that is something which is going to be reflected in your creation, in your product line, in your design language. So whenever someone sees your collection, they know what they're expecting of. For instance, someone comes someone comes to a Kanya exhibition or a Kanya store, they know what to expect. They'll be looking for, soft colors, soft embroidery, uh, like breezy fabrics. So fashion is so important for the individuals that we need to have our own sense of style and not be a part of some trend that's actually a part of the, some strata of society is following. So I think, are there any questions? Okay, so when we combine both the terms, fashion and organic stuff, so that's what forms organic fashion, which actually means making choices that are conscious, making conscious decisions that are sustainable. So basically, when I say I am part of the conscious fashion movement, I'm making choices that are not harming the environment. Actually, you're giving more to the environment than taking it. You have a zero ecological footprint. That's what is meant by slow fashion. So what comes to your mind when we say organic fabrics or organic fashion? Anyone? So the first fabric that actually stucks you is cotton, right? So we have actually narrowed down our vision to organic fabrics as cotton. However, that is not the case. I want to start off firstly with cotton. Of course, it's the most versatile fabric. It's a wardrobe staple, but there's a plethora of different fabrics that are available. So I want to start with hemp. Hemp has been cultivated for textile purposes since 50,000 years. Yes, you're hearing me right, 50,000 years. So I consider hemp superior to cotton, reason being it requires no pesticides, it is antimicrobial, and it requires very little to no water for growing. The fiber is also very soft. It keeps you cooler in summers and gives you that warm, cozy feeling in winters. So hemp definitely is a fabric you should look out for if you're considering organic textiles. And hemp, on the contrary, doesn't need pesticides, so you're not ruining the soil. It actually is nourishing the soil. So when you want to grow something else onto that same soil, it is self-nourished. You don't need to add any fertilizers, and it is like water rich. So the soil is actually water. The soil already has water to it. So it definitely is a fabric you should look out for. Next, of course, is silk. If you're looking for organic silk, which is readily available now. Like a lot of consumers are shifting patterns. You know, there are times when cotton cannot suffice your requirement. You need to have a fabric that is more dressy, and you know, cotton cannot serve your purpose. So you should definitely look out for silk. There's a plethora of variety when it comes to silk. It is hand spun, it is hand woven, and you can actually give a lot of textures to it. And every texture that's added to silk gives it that unique finish. Next onto it, I want to move on to the futuristic fabrics. So one such is stencil yarn. So stencil yarn is actually made by some Austrian designer. It's 100% organic, and stencil yarn is made from the wood pulp, right, which makes it a very unique property. So while I was at the Lakme Fashion Week last year, I was amazed and happy at the same time to see House of Anita Dongre use stencil yarn, because of course it's eco-friendly, and you're giving back to nature more than you're taking to it. So big brands like Anita Dongre are using stencil yarn for printing purposes, and it was amazing to see it. The next fabric that we'll move on to is Pinatex. So if you're a leather lover like me, but you're still a conscious buyer, you obviously, when you think about leather, what comes to your mind is the cruelty that's actually given, that happens to the animals, right? So Pinatex is a fabric you should be looking for. If you're a vegan or considering to be a vegan, Pinatex is your thing. It's made from pineapple fibers. Yes, you're hearing me right. So pineapple leaves that are basically discarded after the fruits used. So those leaves are used to create fibers, and those fibers are then processed to make leather out of it. So this leather is 100% vegan, is cruelty free, and it's organic, right? So Pinatex is a future fabric that is definitely going to replace leather sometime or the other. And so basically Pinatex, for growing for the cultivation of this fabric, no additional effort is required, because you're anyway growing the pineapple, and what you're using is a byproduct of the fruit which otherwise could have been dumped somewhere. So and after the fabrics made out of it, the discarded material that's left out or the leftover is used as a fertilizer for the reproduction of the pineapple. So the cycle keeps moving on. You're basically using each and every part of it. Then the next fabric then we want to talk about is Econyl or Econyl. So a lot of new designers are coming with different futuristic fabrics. One such as Econyl. You'll be amazed to hear how they're creating it. They're basically using plastic waste, your fishing nets from the ocean, and your industrial waste, say your polyester fabric that otherwise would have gone to a landfill. So they're reprocessing it, they're regenerating a yarn out of it that you're all familiar with, nylon, which otherwise requires a lot of water, a lot of fossil fuel energy. But when you're making Econyl, you're basically just regenerating a fabric out of it. And nylon, of course, as we all know, is used for swimwear, for your active wear. How can we not have an active wear in a wardrobe, right? Because we're all like so conscious about our health these days. So we all have active wear. So just imagine all your active wear nylon is going to be replaced with Econyl, and you're making a sustainable choice. So these are the fabrics that are going to be the future of like our fabric textile industry. So while I was in Shanghai, I was attending Intertextile Shanghai, there were basically all the fabrics you can think of under the sun. They had a space there. They had a conscious section. Then they had your regular commercially viable fabrics. Anything you can think of was present there. Like, I was taken aback to see the vast variety of fabrics, the new variety of fabric that designers are coming up with. So if you have any questions, or if you want to interrupt me on any of the eco-friendly fibers that we're talking about, you can drop in your questions, or you can straight away, ask me your questions. Okay, so now we'll move on to our next processes, procuring the fabric. Or basically, when I say procuring a sustainable fabric and making a sustainable choice doesn't really end your work. So what you need to do is you need to, from start to the scratch, you need to involve sustainability in all your processes. So when I say you just get a good eco-friendly fiber from a good place, no, your work doesn't stop there. You need to make patterns out of it that are, of course, commercially viable, but at the same time, you need to use n number of permutations and combinations to make sure that little to no fabric gets wasted. So while we work at Kanya, we make sure that, you know, we create our paper patterns in such a way that not much of the fabric gets wasted. So after creating our paper pattern, what we actually do is we create patterns on the computer using a plotter and using the CAD technology, right? So what the plotter does is the plotter actually designs our patterns in such a way that very little fabric gets wasted. So we make sure that, you know, there's an optimum utilization of the available resources. So after that plotter's created the design, we then draft it onto the fabric, we trace it, we cut it, and then after the stitching process and everything, whatever's left out, that fabric is actually used in multiple ways, such as we would use it for tassels. Of course, we're all aware how beautifully tassels can, you know, be added to your dupattas, to your suits, wherever possible. It not only beautifies the product, but it also shows that little hand touch to it, which makes the garment so much more special to it, right? And when you're connected to a garment, you automatically preserve it. When I say you preserve it, it becomes sustainable because you're buying less and you're taking care of your garment more than ever. So we make tassels out of it, we make scrunchies, we make head scrunchies, we make fabric envelopes, then we make handbags for our packing. And of course, we make headbands like the one I'm wearing right now is a Kanya product. So none of the fabric gets wasted. Then after, of course, we recycle the fabric that's left out. That's one aspect. That's one aspect how we deal with the fabric utilization. So once the fabric's ready, what you need to do is you need to preserve that fabric, right? So when I say you preserve that fabric, you just cannot use harsh chemicals that are polluting the environment. So these chemicals go into the oceans and they generate plastic waste into the oceans. So that is depleting the marine life. So when you're buying an organic fabric, it's very important that you take care of that fabric in a similar way. So you need to use organic detergents, you need to use very less of harsh chemicals. And you know, sanitizers are becoming a part of our life. So whenever we have a cloth and we need to not wash it, so what we do is we spray it with tons and tons amount of sanitizer, which shouldn't be the case. According to me, the natural and the best sanitizer available to us is the sun. So if you just sun charge your garments, they're going to last you long, they're going to be sanitized, and of course you're not polluting the environment by using tons and tons and amount of chemicals. So that's how you take care of your garment after procuring a sustainable fabric, right? Because if a fabric lasts you long, you wear it longer, you're buying less fabrics, and since you're buying less fabrics, you're making conscious decisions of using that same fabric over and over again. So if there's a longevity to your fabric, it automatically becomes sustainable. So moving on to our next topic. Okay, so I know all you designers out there will be like, you know, are worried from like as to where to start. Start is always going to be a little difficult, but if you want to be like commercially viable and still making enough money, what you need to do is, according to me, you need to start with mass production. You need to start somewhere under someone who deals into mass production, because that way you'll achieve efficiency. So once you've attained that efficiency, you'll be able to start with your own unit, and you'll be efficient right from the start, because you do not want to make a lot of mistakes and then be heartbroken at the very first taste of failure. Of course, no, like it's not going to be a success story. You straight away start and then you're going to achieve whatever you want to. That's not going to happen. So it's very important to take internship courses, to start under someone who's already little successful. Like if you have the courage to right away start on your own, that's wonderful. But according to me, you should start under someone so that you gather enough courage and you're making lesser mistakes. So while I started, I finished my course, I started working under a very renowned embroidery establishment. So my designs were getting acknowledgement, right? And I was doing very decent. But I was always always under the pressure to work under a certain price frame, and the fabrics those that were used were commercially viable local fabrics. That posed great danger to our economy, that posed great danger to our society. We're not promoting local artisans, we're buying poly fabrics. So there was some inside hollowness. That creative autonomy I wanted to have that creative autonomy. That's what led me to start Karnia. So when I started Karnia, I made sure that none of my fabric is going to be polyester, and I'm going to only use eco-friendly fibers that are going to be locally sourced, which is very important. So all my fabrics are locally sourced. We don't use machine embroidery. We are the biggest machine embroidery manufacturers otherwise, but for Karnia, we don't use anything machine. It's completely hand embroidered, and even the threads that we use are eco-friendly fibers. So when I speak of the threads, it doesn't end there. For threads, you need to add color, because color is something that imparts life to your garments, right? So it's very important that you choose colors that are organic. So today, I think it's not very hard to offer organic dyes, because you have plethora of options. Like you name a color and then you can have a dye accordingly. There are a lot of units that are using organic dyes and providing you the services to be part of that moment. So, getting organic dyes is very easy these days. So you can actually source those threads for your embroidery. The number one thing is they're not going to bleed. And number two, they're not going to be posing danger to your own body. So if threads are bad, if your colors are bad, they're going to harm the environment. Harming the environment would be a secondary thing, but they're going to harm you first because you're wearing it. Those threads and those colors are carcinogen. Like they pose danger to your own body. So what's important is that you select fibers and colors that are eco-friendly. So we at Karnia make sure that none of the threads are, sourced from the polyester units. So moving on to the next process, we make sure that everything is packaged into your paper bags, but none of the trees get wasted. So while we are packing our stuff, while we have labels to our garment, what we do is every Karnia garment comes with a label that has a message to it. Basically, for every Karnia garment you buy, you plant a tree. So the price tag has a seed attached to it, and all you need to do is you just need to take that price tag, put it in a bowl of water. The water is going to dissolve all the paper, because of course we know it is eco-friendly. So it just mixes well with the water. And then what you can do is, after you've gotten the seeds from that price tag, you can just pour it into the soil nearby, and you'll soon be giving life to a plant. So you're basically not just buying a garment, you're actually giving life to a plant. So little steps we take here and there to make sure that, we give more back than we ever take. So does anyone have any questions onto the topics we've covered? Are there any questions?
ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದಿಂದ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅರೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದೇ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್.
Hi, does anyone want to interrupt me and does anyone have questions? You can drop in your questions here.
Hello.
Yeah.
Shreya ji, one question from Richa Singh. Which fabric we can made from plastic waste and
You can make Econyl. So Econyl बन रहा है प्लास्टिक वेस्ट से. उसमें क्या किया जा रहा है, जो फिशिंग नेट्स होते हैं ओशन में या जो हम फैब्रिक को डिस्कार्ड कर देते हैं ओशन, ऐसे ही जो भी इंडस्ट्रियल वेस्ट होती है, तो उस सब फैब्रिक को गैदर किया जाता है एंड उस फैब्रिक को रीजेनरेट कर रहे हैं प्रोसेसेस के थ्रू और उससे Econyl बन रहा है. Econyl नायलॉन का एक रिप्लेसमेंट है. नायलॉन जैसे कि हम जानते हैं जिससे वो खिंचाव आता है, स्ट्रेचेबिलिटी आता है फैब्रिक में, तो उस तरीके से जो एक्टिव वेयर में यूज होता है, जो हमारा स्पोर्ट्स वेयर है या हमारा स्विम वेयर है जिसमें यूज किया जाता है, तो वो नायलॉन का एक रिप्लेसमेंट है. Econyl आप प्लास्टिक वेस्ट से वो फैब्रिक बना सकते हैं.
Another question from Avarajita Mundal. What about khadi? He wants to talk about khadi.
Khadi is an amazing fabric. It has been there like even before independence. That is a fabric which is so close to our heart. So fabric khadi भी organic ही है, but काफी वो definitely women's wear में मैं देखती हूँ. वुमेन्स वेयर में मैं देखती हूँ लेडीज थोड़ा कम प्रेफर करती हैं एंड वो जेंट्स कुर्ता वगैरह में यूज होता है. तो इट्स एन अमेजिंग फैब्रिक, आप उसे भी यूज कर सकते हैं. I think the best khadi you can get is from Kutch Bhuj, जहाँ पे local artisans को वो लोग promote कर रहे हैं. You get one of the finest khadis there. So while I was there at this institute, this NGO called Khameer, they had a very nice variety of khadi, your mushroom silk, your organic cotton. It's definitely a must visit place if you're looking.
Another question from Priyanka Ahuja.
Right.
She's asking about some fabrics to be used in winters.
आप silk use कर सकते हैं. Silk is an amazing fabric.
Wait a second. Whatever you're saying, can you speak in English? I don't understand Hindi.
Okay, not an issue. I'm as comfortable in English as I'm in Hindi. So she's asking me, Priyanka Ahuja is asking me to suggest some fabrics that can be used in winters. I think silk is a wonderful option that can be used in winters, because as we all know, winters in India are synonymous to the wedding season, right? So silk not only adds beauty, it's simplistic, it's timeless, and it can be preserved for generations to come. We must have all heard stories of, silk saris being transferred from one generation to another generation because they are a timeless creation. So silk is an amazing fabric you can use for winters. And if you're looking for something that's not very dressy, it's very simple, you can use hemp because that's what keeps you warm. Wool, of course, you can use. It is sustainable. You get it from, you get it from like animals. Just make sure you're not being cruel to the animal. So you just have to be very conscious from where you're buying it. Pashmina you can use if you're using organic pashmina that is available from Kashmir. It's one of the finest and timeless fabric you can think of when it comes to our local heritage. So if you talk about real pashmina, it is so soft you can actually pass it through a ring. It's that soft and that delicate, and it's produced in our own country, and you'll be amazed to see the variety of designs that a lot of NGOs in Ladakh are promoting. So if you happen to go to Ladakh, or you can actually locally source it also if you have some certain connections. So it's available. Pashmina you can use wool, you can use hemp. If you're looking for a very casual sort of a thing, hemp is your thing, it keeps you warm. And if you're looking for very classy something, silk. So these are the fabrics you can go for in winters.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, you're audible now.
यस मैम, ऑर्गेनिक फैब्रिक के लिए कौन सा ऑर्गेनिक डाई बेस्ट रहेगा? क्योंकि हमने टर्मरिक अभी लॉकडाउन के टाइम पे हमने टर्मरिक और ये सब चीजें यूज की, लेकिन वो बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे से नहीं हो रहा है.
नहीं, आप उसे हीट करेंगे ना. अगर आपको येलो कलर चाहिए तो आप मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर्स यूज कर सकते हैं. उनमें एक रिच नेचुरल प्रॉपर्टी है जो फैब्रिक पे बहुत ब्यूटिफुली अब्जॉर्ब हो जाता है. तो आप येलो के ऑप्शन में टर्मरिक की जगह अगर आप यूज करना चाहे तो आप मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर्स यूज कर सकते हैं.
ओके, थैंक यू.
एनी टाइम.
Yeah, hi, this is Priyanka.
Hi.
Thanks for the suggestions you have given us for the winters.
Right.
I also want to know that what type of fabrics to be used in for startups. Means that comes in our budget also, and that will look good also.
Right. So basically you're always confused, but what I would say is you need to have a very clear design language in your head. You can't be buying 3 meters of silk, you can't be buying 3 meters of cotton. So you need to be very sure about your fabrics, because that is what is going to give you a design language at the end of the day. So when someone's coming to your store the next time, they'll be expecting a certain fabric, and what if they don't find it? So you have to be very sure from the start. But for a startup point of view, you can opt for cotton because it's the most versatile fabric. It's actually a wardrobe staple, right? So
Yeah.
and even our weather supports cotton a lot. But you just need to make sure that it's sourced organically. So cotton actually is not that expensive a fabric, but because there's so much of process involved to it, and because organic has become such an hype, they've actually hiked the price. So it's very important so that you directly source the fabric. You'll have to work it out a little, but instead of getting it from retail, it'll be better if you could get it directly from source. So I would suggest if you're a starter, you can start with cotton. It's a wonderful fabric.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Do we have?
Can you please elaborate about some those tencel yarn that you told us that
Right.
Miss Anita Dongre has used in the Lakme fashion?
Right.
Yeah.
So tencel yarn is actually made by an Austrian company. It's not Indian, of course. It's an Austrian company. So what you can do is you'll have to contact the retailer. You'll have to basically contact the company that are buying that tencel yarn or producing that tencel yarn in bulk, and you'll have to ask them to what suppliers they're supplying the yarn to, right? And then you can get your hands onto it, because I know if you're just starting out, your quantities are going to be low. So that's how you can procure it. And tencel yarn is actually made from wood pulp. So it is eco-friendly, and it has a very nice luster to it. It looks like, at a distance, it looks like some very silky, flowy fabric. And yeah, you can just check online. You'll be able to see lot of amazing prints that you can do to it. So while I was attending LFW, so I saw Anita Dongre use stencil, and she used digital printing to it. So what digital printing is definitely superior to your regular rotary printing, if you're aware of. So rotary printing uses a lot of fossil fuel energy, lots and lots of chemicals, and its effluents are, as we all know, are hazardous to the water bodies nearby. So she used digital printing over the tencel yarn, which gave it a nice luster. Digital printing has zero restriction when it comes to color. You can use n number of colors to your garment. So it not only beautifies your garment, but it's actually using a lot lesser water than your regular printing. So that's the beauty of tencel yarn, I would say, with amalgamated with the printing.
So there is no, any disadvantage of using digital print.
Hey, you're not audible.
Sorry, it's got
Huh.
unmuted. Actually, I'm asking about those.
No, it is better. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't.
Print on tencel yarn.
Right. I beg your pardon.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I'm asking about digital print. You suggested us to that Miss Anita Dongre has used digital
Right.
print on tencel yarn fabrics.
Right.
So, does it harm this tencel fabric?
No,
Digital?
it does. It doesn't harm. On the contrary, if I could tell, it beautified the fabric. The fabric came out so like pretty. It was flowy, it was lustrous, and like we all know, she uses small motif floral fab. She uses small floral motifs, right, to her fabrics, and it was coming out like a dream. Your fabric is going to come like a dream if you use digital printing. I wouldn't say that digital printing is your thing, but if you're using a tencel yarn, digital printing is a choice you can look out for. And it is definitely better than your regular mill printing, because that is depleting your environment like no other. So we're all aware of it, right? The maximum amount of water that is used for the city is by the mill industry. So those were the first one to announce a lockdown. Those were the first ones to get shut.
Yeah.
We are all aware of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Can you please explain about the organic jute fibers?
Right. So organic jute fibers are procured from the jute plant, as we all know. And jute is a very water-rich plant. So what you need to do is you need to just procure your fabric, and like any other fiber, you need to process it, and then you get those beautiful fabric out of it. So jute also, it depends how you're procuring it. If you're just using your conventional methods of cultivating the jute, it's not going to be organic. So every jute out there in the market is not organic, only if it is cultivated in such a way that that no harm has been done to the environment, no sort of chemicals are used. Only then can you consider it as an organic jute fabric. And of course, it's a very beautiful fabric, but it has lost little popularity, according to me, because of its like stiff or like harsh nature. So when it comes to me, I have no offense against jute, but we personally don't use jute much, because it gives you that the texture is little rough, so that rough feeling is not something I look for. I look for fabrics that are very soft, that are soothing to your skin. Jute, of course, is an amazing fabric, but the harsh texture doesn't go well with the clients I cater to.
Thank you, ma'am.
Are there any other, is there anyone wanting to know something?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, can you please tell me about the natural jute fabric?
Hi, you're not audible. I beg your pardon.
Ma'am, can you please tell me about the natural jute fabric?
Jute fabric. So jute fabric actually is locally sourced from the eastern part of our country, as we all know. So I think West Bengal leads the production. You can source your fabric from there. You can of course get it from, you can locally get jute as well, but then if you, like I said, if you get it from the source, you're going to get at a much cheaper price, and you can rely on the authenticity of the fabric. So I would suggest you to check for the fabric that is made by the local artisans. The jute fiber has a very good water resistant property, so it's an amazing fabric. It's just that it's not much breezy in nature and has a little rough texture to it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so someone has asked me suggest some fabric for gym wear. I think for gym wear, you definitely need to have nylon. So the replacement of nylon, like I suggested, is Econyl. You need to start looking for labels that have Econyl content to it. So you're definitely going organic. Then someone's asked me, yeah, organic fabric for. Someone's asked me, can we make fabrics from vegetable scraps or fruits, and what fabric will we get? See, you can make fabric. Can we use khadi for exercise wear? No, you cannot use khadi for exercise wear. Like we all know, you need to do you need to do n number of motions while you're exercising, and it's only going to get rip off. So you need something that's more durable, that's not going to get torn away by your movements, right? So I don't think you can use jute or khadi for gym wear. Gym wear, you need to have nylon content. If you want to skip nylon, like I said, Econyl is your thing. Look for labels that are using Econyl content. Can we make fabrics from vegetable scraps or fruits, and what fabric will we get? Yes, of course, a lot of designers are using banana leaves to create fibers out of it, and they're doing a great job. What they're actually doing is they're taking banana leaves, which are of not much use, and they're regenerating it, they're reprocessing it with little cotton fiber yarns to create a fabric that's equally soft like cotton, and that is breathable, soothing, and it's super soft for your wear. So yes, you can use your vegetable or fruit waste to make fabrics. Okay, someone's asked, these materials cost very high. How is it to get low price? These materials cost you a lot because they are sourced from local artisans, and the middlemen all have their profit margins, right? So the point it comes to you at a retail shop nearby, they're going to charge you a bomb. It's going to be exorbitant. The cost of making that fabric is not much, because it's made from the readily available resources that require less human intervention while cultivating it, right? So you need to get your fabric straight from the source, like I said. So if you get it from the source, you'll have to work it out a little harder, of course. Like start is going to be difficult, like I said. But if you get your links straight, you're going to get in the loop, and once you get in the loop, you'll be able to source your fabrics at a much cheaper price. Why? Because your quantities are going to increase. If you have your fabric straight, that I just want to deal in cotton, or for instance I just want to deal in hemp, So your sole focus will be, I'll be making hemp in summer, I'll be making silk for the winters. So your sole purpose would be buying it in bulk, and you'll be buying from source. Now that you're buying it in bulk, why would you go to a retail shop nearby? You would directly get it from source. And if you're getting it from source, it is going to be at least 1/4 the price you're paying to a retail shop, because retail works on 50% profit margin. And even if we exclude the middlemen, it's a lot of money you're paying for that air-conditioned showroom. So might as well just go to the place that deals with it. Someone's asked, ma'am, can we make fabric from nutri waste? Yes, you can make fabric from nutri waste. I have suggested 2 fabrics, Pinatex, that is made from the pineapple leaves. After the fruits consumed, the leaves are discarded. So you can make that leather out of it, which is amazing. It's not just used for your clothing purpose. You can make cushion covers. You can make your sofa like ragazine out of it, and it's one of the finest leathers you can get. And if you're planning to or becoming a vegan, Pinatex is your thing. Someone's asked me, what fabrics do you use? So we at Karnia make use of cotton for summers. Then we have a blend of viscose mull that we use for summers, and for winters we use Chanderi silk. Then we're going to use hand woven silk. So our fabrics are actually weather specific. I wouldn't use cotton for winters, because I know cotton is not something which is going to look dressy in winters. Everyone wants to dress up, everyone wants to cover up, everyone wants to layer up a little in the winters. So we shift our fabrics season wise. Is there any other, is there anyone wanting to know something?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to know that how long we can use these fabrics. What about their life, or at what time we can use?
Can you be a little more specific? I mean, what fabric?
I want to know that, just like for instance, what about cotton life? We can use it for 5 to 6 years or more. So what about Econal fabrics, Pinatex?
Right. So the longevity or the durability of a fabric depends upon your wash care instructions. It depends on the care you take for that fabric. A fabric can last you generations. Like, as we all know, fabric is not going to get ripped off on its own. If you're taking due care of your fabric, if you're not using harsh iron to it, or if you're not using harsh detergents to it, if you're not using tons and tons amount of sanitizers to it,
means this is similar to normal products, normal fabrics.
Exactly. You if you want to, have you seen what organic cotton looks like?
Not yet. Means I
Not
got to
yet.
know.
Okay, so this is something what an organic cotton looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a blend of cotton yarn and some denim yarns, and it's 100% organic in nature, by colors, by threads, by stitching, everything. So we've given, I don't know if I can be more clear, we've given indigo dyes to it to give that rich blue color.
Okay.
So organic cotton is actually just your regular cotton. It's little coarse, and you can make out, because when you buy cotton from a regular retail shop, it's going to be flat, right? It's combed cotton, or it's flat, the surface flat. When you look at organic cotton, it's going to have that natural texture that adds uniqueness to it. Like the very sight of an organic fabric makes you feel connected to it.
Okay.
So it's very important that you start looking for fabrics wherever you're going, wherever you're free, or wherever you're traveling. It's very important to look out for textiles that are ethically sourced.
Yeah, it's such a vast subject. Got many things to learn.
Right. So travel, I think, of course, now we're all restricted, but whenever I get a chance, what I do is if I'm traveling, I would love to go to that local shop that, that has those traditional ethical fabrics of that particular area.
Yeah, right. Just like ikat and other
Amazing.
some fabrics from
All your
Rajasthan.
all your traditional fabrics have been in use since the start. Like it's just that the trends keep changing, but it's not like it's changing. It's actually just it's just getting switched. Like
Right.
after ikat, there's going to be time checks are going to come. After checks is going to be stripes. So there's this cycle that just keeps rotating. The fabrics keep rotating. Not many new styles come, but the styles just keep rotating. So we've been using checks, we've been using stripes, we've been using ikat, we've been using patola, we've been using bandhani since generations. And we're still using it. So it's very important to, just broaden your fabric horizon. So I would suggest whenever you're traveling, just look out for good shops, ethically, sourced shops.
करेक्ट आंखें अपने आप ही उधर चली जाती हैं जब भी कुछ दिखता है ऐसा something like it's very attracting.
Right.
When you have some interest in such type of things, that's what I'm saying. कि आंखें अपने आप उधर चली जाती हैं.
Exactly my point. You're intrigued by the beauty of the fabrics.
Correct.
Hello, ma'am.
Nice. Okay. Can we follow you on some social sites like
Of
Facebook, Insta?
So yeah, we're available on all social networking sites. You can follow me. But my Instagram handle is Karnya the Store. KARNYA. Karnya the Store. THESTORE.
Okay.
And on Facebook, I think it's Karnya by Shreya.
Nice.
Hello, ma'am.
Would love to follow you.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah, ma'am, can you please explain about the bamboo fiber? Is that used in organic or
Of
textile?
course, bamboo is 100% natural organic fiber that can be used for clothing. So bamboo is an amazing plant that is, grown near the marshy land. You can, you can actually get it from the Ghats region, the bamboo plant, and a lot of tribal communities used to use bamboo fabrics since the conception, and it is still used. It's still used by those tribal communities. Now it's gaining importance. Now bamboo is even known to the layman terms. So what's actually done is they discard the fiber out of the bamboo plant, process it, and a beautiful fabric is made out of those plants. So it's grown near the marshy lands where you can procure that fabric. It's 100% organic. It is sustainable. You can definitely get your hands on the fabric.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, please explain about soybean fabric.
Soybean fabric, very honestly, I haven't come across that fabric. It's a very new thing to me as well. I'll definitely scoop the net and get back to you on the same.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone wanting to know something?
Oh.
Hi, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, ma'am. Is there any difference between the usage of water in processing these fibers, like in organic and the other?
Of course. So basically, if you're organically growing, you're not using any pesticides, and they require much less water than your regular fabrics. So even when you talk about, for instance, cotton, your conventionally grown cotton consumes about 25% of the world's water. if you talk about cotton, as against organically grown cotton requires very little water and it doesn't require any pesticides. So definitely the water content used by an organic fabric is much lesser to your conventional grown fabrics. So you should opt for organic fibers. So even when you talk about other than cotton, which is using 25% less water than your conventional cotton, if you talk about hemp, hemp practically doesn't need much water. It requires little to no water for growing, and on the contrary, it's soil nourishing. So when you plug that hemp out for the fabric usage, your soil is going to be fertile and it's going to be damp. It's already going to have some water to it, so you can straight away just plant some other plant to it. So yeah, definitely you should offer organic fibers because they use lesser water than your regular fibers. Hi, does anyone have any question?
Yeah, hi, this is Priyanka. Actually, I want to know just business point of view. I just want to know ki ethnic, which one, going to, actually, sorry, I'm a bit confused between, ethnic wear and Western wear. So इन दोनों में से कौन सा आपका क्या इस पे सर्वे कभी आपने किया होगा while starting your business कि कौन सा business आपको choose करना चाहिए, it's ethnic wear or whether it's Western wear?
That's a very, very brand specific question. So after you start making both of them, it'll depend on what sort of clients you're getting. But very honestly, like I prefer ethnic wear. I make Western wear. We very honestly we supply to your Zara, your H&M, your Westside. We are the manufacturers for them. Not Karnia, but Siddharth Industries, which of course Karnia is a part of. So I make Western wear, but if you ask me, I would prefer ethnic wear because that's where you use a lot of your traditional textiles. You use a lot of your craftsmanship. You can use embroidery. You can give traditional motifs to it. So it's actually a little more close to my heart. I would suggest ethnic wear. What you can do is, if you love Westerns and if you love ethnic wear, you can mingle into Westerns like we always do. It's a very, very good question.
Okay. Actually, I'm a bit confused between both of them. So I just want to ask.
What you can do is you can impart some ethnicity to your Western wear, and it's going to be it's going to be unique to your brand. That's what you can do. Yeah. But definitely it'll come with a lot of trials and errors. So if you're asking me, I personally prefer ethnic wear. Ethnic wear that's not too much over the top. That's little like on the subtle end.
Yeah, subtle end. Yeah, correct. Okay, thank you.
Anytime.
I think Shreya ji, it's a very useful session actually, and मैं भी पूरा go through कर रहा हूँ, सुन रहा हूँ, तो मुझे काफी अच्छा लग रहा है. एक लोग कहावत है ना कि healthy खाओ, okay? अब healthy पहनना भी पड़ेगा, है ना? Okay. We should promote organic and 100%. ये बहुत ही unique and it was different subject for our fashion designers, for upcoming designers हैं, they can think about that and सोच सकते हैं कि futuristic, अगर futuristic बनना है और future के बारे में सोचना है तो उनको ये adopt करना पड़ेगा. ये technique बहुत ही useful है और काफी futuristic है.
जी. जैसा कि आपने बताया ना कि ऑर्गेनिक खा रहे हैं, तो मैं आपको बताऊं हम ऑर्गेनिक एक्चुअली ग्रो भी कर रहे हैं. तो very soon you'll be able to see Kanya Organics. क्योंकि जिस तरीके से ये कोरोना टाइम है तो हम टर्मरिक ग्रो कर रहे हैं, हम जिंजर ग्रो कर रहे हैं, उनके पाउडर्स हम वेरी सून मार्केट में लाने वाले हैं.
ग्रेट.
ऑर्गेनिक फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स भी हमारा खुद का ही है, इन हाउस सेटअप करा हुआ है हमने.
Great, fantastic. With the same name? With the same name?
Yeah, Kanya Organics.
Oh, great, great.
So I think sustainability now is not a choice. It's actually a part of living. हम उसे जितना जल्दी embrace करें, जितना जल्दी हम उसे accept करें, हम जितना जल्दी उसका एक part बन जाए, हम और उतना ज़्यादा nature से जुड़ते जाएंगे, I think.
Okay, okay. एंड जब बात आई है कि आप ऑर्गेनिक एंड के ऊपर जो है ना आप फैशन को भी लेके आ रहे हैं एंड फूड में भी लेके आ रहे हैं, तो एक वन लाइनर आप हमारे साथ बहुत सारे डिजाइनर्स हैं, एक वन लाइनर उनको दे सकते हैं कि अगर उनको मार्केटिंग करना हो इस ऑर्गेनिक, चाहे फैशन की बात करें चाहे आपने अपने फूड की बात करी, तो वो एक दो लाइनर क्या होगा कि किस चीज पे उनको फोकस करना चाहिए, कहाँ पे फोकस करना चाहिए, कैसे फोकस करना चाहिए?
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है ऑथेंटिसिटी. लाइक अगर आप बोल रहे हैं ऑर्गेनिक है तो वो 100% ऑर्गेनिक होना चाहिए, आप उसे सोर्स से लीजिए. अकॉर्डिंग टू मी इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट इट्स एथिकली सोर्स्ड. Like if you say it's organic, it has to be long lasting. Like customer को आप अगर एक price point charge कर रहे हैं तो वो satiate होना चाहिए. उसे अगर वो double the price pay कर रहा है regular fabric से, तो उससे वो केयर करने के बाद उसका वैल्यू मिलना चाहिए. I think providing the value to your consumer is going to make your brand. So
actually उनको difference मालूम होना चाहिए कि this is the organic and
right.
अच्छा, yes. Okay.
तो टेक्सटाइल ट्रिप्स कराए जा सकते हैं जिससे उनको एक एक्सपोजर मिले कि एक्चुअल में ऑर्गेनिक फैब्रिक है क्या.
Okay, great.
I think travel बहुत help करेगा. Whenever times go, they can have textile trips. I think Kutch is an amazing option to go out for. It's in like बहुत nearby है, तो you can definitely go when the time's feasible. आप जानिए फैब्रिक्स को, फिर ही आप उसे प्रमोट करिए. जब तक आप श्योर नहीं है आप उस फैब्रिक को एथिकली सोर्स या ऑर्गेनिक का लेबल नहीं दीजिए. And gradually आप certified fabrics भी ले सकते हैं. There are a lot of certifications that there you can opt for. Like for example, अगर आप जर्मनी में बात करें तो वहाँ पे GOTS करके सर्टिफिकेशन होता है. अगर कोई भी चीज वो सर्टिफिकेट नहीं देती है तो उसे ऑर्गेनिक माना ही नहीं जाता है. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप खुद पहले एथिकली सोर्स करिए, आप जानिए उस फैब्रिक को, आप श्योर होइए, फिर ही आप उसे ऑर्गेनिक का लेबल देके आगे कंज्यूमर को फॉरवर्ड करिए.
Is there any in India which certifies these organic platforms?
I beg your pardon, sir, voice crack हो रहा है.
Yes, actually I was asking, is there any association जो कि टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री में जो कि इस ऑर्गेनिक फैब्रिक्स को सर्टिफाई कर रहा है?
Hi.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah,
hear me now?
I was asking, is there any association who certifies मतलब in textile in industry एक फैब्रिक को सर्टिफाई करता हो कि मतलब ये दिस इज ऑर्गेनिक? कोई एसोसिएशन है, कोई गवर्नमेंट का या कोई भी? जी,
FSSAI करता है, जिस तरीके से फूड प्रोडक्ट्स को करता है वैसे GOTS करके है जो टेक्सटाइल प्रोडक्ट्स को करते हैं.
Okay, GOT. Okay, great.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is silk vegan?
Very honest.
I know we are from South. No, always used to buy silk only,
right.
But I don't suggest means what is called that.
Because they, at the end of the day, what they do is they boil the silkworms to get the cocoon out of it, and then they make the silk out of it, right? So that actually there's a there's this fine line of difference between organically sourced silk and your regular silk. Like they're both going to be 100% authentic silk, but the one that's organically sourced is the cocoon, the leftover part of the silkworm that's used to, weave the fabric or weave the threads, is taken only when the silkworms have shed it. Like they don't boil the silkworms. In the conventional method, what they do is they boil the silkworm and then they extract the raw materials, right, for the production. But if you're talking about organically sourced, they take the raw material only when the silkworm has no use of it and it has shed that out of its like body. So then they take it, it's basically discarded by that insect, and then they take it and then they make out of it. But of course, it's a cumbersome process. You'll have to wait for it. You'll have to wait for the creature to shell that from its body, and only then can you start with the production. So yeah, there is an organic option to it.
But it's not a vegan, no?
It becomes, no, it's not vegan, but then you're not harming the insect. As long as you're not harming the insect, it's completely okay to use it. Like it's a waste product. We're not boiling the insect.
Because in PETA they're showing how they make the silk. No, they're killing some. I don't know the name of I don't know the name, ma'am. They're killing some.
Yeah, I know what they do is they boil the silkworm, right, to get that fiber.
Yes.
But there's another method wherein what happens is,
but nobody will do nowadays that thing, no, because they want more.
There's a lot of brands that actually deal, the lot of people.
Where you suggest, ma'am, to buy the proper one, because I don't want to. I'm a vegan person. I don't buy used to buy before Louis Vuitton, everything is leather,
right.
Now I used to, no, I'm not using the leather, because whenever I started following the PETA, you understand.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm a sensitive person. Whenever I watch that.
That's actually a very amazing property. That's a very amazing trait.
But everything we have stopped, but we can't stop to buy the silk, because in South, each and every festival or function, they used to wear silk only.
Right.
That's where, do you have any option to
there is an option. So people nowadays are making organic silk. Like I said, they're not harming the insect. Only when the insect has nothing to do with the cocoon, it just like shells it out. If you check, so only when it discards it from the body, they take it, they collect it, and then they start with the regeneration and reprocessing. So
that kind of silk where we can buy. That kind of silk where I can buy.
You will have to scoop the net. You'll have to get your connections. You'll have to search for those organic silks. There are a lot of NGOs that are doing it. Kala Swaraj is one such example that they're dealing with.
Sorry,
Kala Swaraj.
Kala Swaraj.
Yeah.
Shreya ji, hello.
Ji.
Already we had used that fabric when we are participating in New York Fashion Week. So we have used Ahimsa silk in Jharkhand. Somewhere in Jharkhand there is a Ahimsa silk, peace silk. They can buy from there also.
Yeah. I think it's a wonderful option if you can ethically source it.
IDT in 2014 and 15. We had participated in New York Fashion by using this Ahimsa silk.
That's amazing, sir. You should definitely introduce your students to such fabrics and take them to places like these. I mean, it's an amazing initiative by you to take IDT to new levels only, sir.
Check time is there.
Yeah, hi ma'am. This is again Priyanka. I want
Hi.
to ask one more question. That your brand name is Kanya. It's quite unique name and very different.
Thank you.
So what makes you decide that you have to name it like Kanya, or what does it mean?
So basically, it's a ship name. It's our ship name. So I'm the co-founder, and my husband names us like Karan. So Karan, if you club Karan and Shreya, something like
Oh,
Karnya came to
okay.
our mind. So we thought of keeping it Karnya. But then right from the start, we had one thing very clear: authenticity and providing 100% pure fabrics.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, I want to know that like a GOTA certificate provided by Germany.
Yeah,
So does India also providing some certificate for fabrics?
yeah, I'm sure it does. FSSAI, I think, provides you certificates
Or
for
any
all your
other?
organic products.
Okay, FSSI is quite famous.
Hmm.
And there is any other certificate also?
I'm sure there are going to be a million certificate, but then you need to get those certificates that are universally accepted, right? I wouldn't ask you to straight away get certifications. Of course, because they charge you a hefty amount for certifications. So only when you think you've attained a certain position, when you're doing supremely well, people have trust in your brand, you can offer those certificates.
Okay. Got it, got it. Thank you.
But what's more important is actually registering your brand even before getting certificates. What's more important?
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Pleasure.
I think there's no any questions.
Hi, does anyone have any question? Let me just see.
Ma'am, what makes you a fashion designer? Matlab, what thing that motivate you?
What made me a fashion designer? So basically, while I was working at this embroidery establishment, like I said, there was this creative hollowness deep inside. We had to work under certain price frames. We had to work on fabrics that were commercially viable, that were locally made by, like, of course, the textile industry here in Surat. So you know what sort of fabrics I'm talking about. If I just if I just cut the long story short, they were poly fabrics that have mass selling. So my designs were getting recognition. I was doing very well, but at the end of the day, there wasn't any creative autonomy. Like deep inside, I wasn't very satisfied, even with the good things I was doing. So something kind of stuck me, and I was like, no, I need to start doing something. I need to provide my customers true fabrics. I need to that are ethically sourced, but at the same time they gel well with your modern day aesthetics. Like they're chic, they're stylish, but they're breathable. The customers loves wearing it. So when I started my first exhibition, it was a big hit. Okay, not gonna lie. So what people loved about Karna was the fabric. Number one thing. Number two were the silhouettes. Those were very simple, but very wearable. So even a layman can buy those clothes and wear it. And the colors, we used very delicate, soft pastel colors. So the very next time when I had my exhibition, people automatically expected all those things from me. So they came for simple silhouettes and soft colors and like fabrics though that were 100% organic. So that's what created my design language. And yeah, today.
So you also provide internships or trainings to these kinds of students?
Not really. Very honestly, I am a full-time designer. I run Karnia because it's my passion, but at the same time, I'm creative at Siddharth Industries. So, like I said, we manufacture for your H&M, your Zara, Westside, Vedic. So it's actually a full-time job, and I'm too much delved into it to, provide internship. But definitely, if in future something like this comes up, I'll be scouting talents from IDT. Definitely.
Okay, okay. It will be a great pleasure for us.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So you also stay in Surat only?
Yeah, I'm locally based.
Okay, okay, okay. Nice.
So it was actually wonderful to be part of such an event. I want to thank IDT for hosting such an event and, enlightening the kids.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shreya, ma'am.
It's an honor, sir.
Yes, and it was very useful session and important for our students and our designers. Okay, so thank you, Shreya, ma'am, and thank you, participants, for joining us. Okay, yeah.
Okay, guys, bye. Have a great day.
Thank you, thank you.
જે વ્યક્તિને કોલ કર્યો છે એ અન્ય કોલ પર વ્યસ્ત આપે જે વ્યક્તિને કોલ કર્યો છે એ અન્ય કોલ પર વ્યસ્ત છે પ્રતીક્ષા કરો કે થોડા સમય પર પ્રયાસ કરો आपने जिस व्यक्ति को कॉल किया है
Abaju mamu.